like to thank the library for being a great partner with us. This is about the 5th year that we partner with them to bring to you Women History Month. This year is a special year for us because God sent a lady to me who was just touring the museum. She was a founder of a program, a new agency, a new organization called Women in Power, empowering women. She said, how can we work together? It just so happens, nevertheless, she persisted, it was just being worked on. And so, wow, you guys fit our bill. So why not join with us and present this program as a joint effort? So I want to thank Nicole Henry, the founder and CEO, for doing that. And at this time, I'd like to acknowledge any elected officials that may be in the room today. If they're here, would you please stand? If not, we'll move on to our other acknowledgements. Our board of directors for the Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society. All right, thank you very much. Nicole?
Good morning or afternoon. I am with Women in Power Empowering. This is our first time partnering with the library and the Historical Society, and we are delighted to be here today with our members and board members. Just wave your hand. We were established in 2016. 10 of us came together and talked about how can we make the most impact in our community, and we decided we wanted to give financially to help women to overcome financial barriers. So what you'll see today is the fruit of our efforts. We have $2,000 to give out today to 4 women that have experienced some hardship, and we're going to help them break some of those barriers. So we're glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. We're going to follow the program as it is printed. At this time, I'd like to read a poem and give some feedback. Nevertheless, she persisted. She persisted. She persisted still. She persisted. She persisted still. Nevertheless, she persisted boldly. She persisted still. Miriam, the prophet, led the Israelites. She got little praise for her part in the flight. Nevertheless, she persisted boldly. She persisted still. Mary Magdalene gave witness to the word, yet they tried to keep her voice from being heard. Nevertheless, she persisted boldly. She persisted still.
She is. Yes. No.
Sojourner Truth claimed her prophetic voice, yet they tried to squelch her, take away her choice. Nevertheless, she persisted boldly. She persisted still. Madame Curie found the cures to many ills, yet they tried to question her scientific skills. Nevertheless, she persisted boldly. She persisted still. Congresswoman Chisholm ran for president, yet they said she knew not what the office meant. Nevertheless, she persisted boldly. She persisted still. Katherine Johnson's figures launched us into space, yet they undermined her gender and her race. Nevertheless, she persisted boldly. She persisted still. Senator Liz Warren spoke truth with all her power, yet they tried to hush her in the crucial hour. Nevertheless, she persisted boldly. She persisted still. She persisted. She persisted still. She persisted. She persisted still. Nevertheless, she persisted boldly. She persisted still. And what I'd like to do is for you just to think about these women we're going to be honoring today and just put their names in those places. Because Pearl Hunt persisted. She persisted still. May Cora Peterson persisted. She persisted still. Miss Arnise McKinney persisted. She persisted still. Steele, and all the ladies that are listening to the program who's being honored today. Ms. Myrtle Lewis Keaton, she persisted still. Thank you.
There we go, let's try that again. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yolanda Harper, and I am honored to share with you all today two amazing women. She talked about, nevertheless, she persisted. We're going to have conversation with two women, and ladies, if you can go ahead and make your way to the podium, to the stage. We're going to have conversation with two women today that through life's challenges, they persisted. So if you would join me in welcoming Lonette and Linda to the stage.
Okay, so ladies, you all heard that poem, and we're going to share with you all, and I have read these amazing bios, and I can tell you about them. I can tell you about some of the things that they've overcome, they had the opportunity to become victorious over. And what I want to do is I want to let them tell you a little bit about their story. So let's go ahead and start here to my right.
Hi, my name is Monet Owens, and I am the founder and owner of Bold Lips Revolution. I founded my company 2 years ago while I was in a domestic violence shelter, Safe Haven of Tarrant County. I was a victim of domestic violence for 6 years. And while in that shelter, I actually started my company. Saved my money, built a website, and launched my company right in the shelter before I even had a home. And so my goal and my passion in life is to be able to empower women of that area, or people that have suffered, or people that have felt like they don't have any other option but to give up, to push forward. When you're at your lowest, the only thing you can do is go up. So why not try to make the best out of the situation?
So Monet, you mean to tell me, or tell us, while you were in a homeless shelter, a place that we could say for some, or even you was a very low point, you found enough to connect, learn, whatever you want to say, but you felt the need and the desire to start your own business?
It's crazy how it sounds, because when you're thinking about, I have 3 small children, so thinking about how they're probably not comfortable, we're in a shelter, we come from a 3-bedroom home where they were comfortable to a shelter. And so trying to make sure that they felt comfortable and trying to get adjusted. We came from Houston, so this is a completely different city, it's a completely different environment. But I could have made the choice to say, I'm in hell, like this is my very lowest, so I'm just gonna have a pity party. But I have 3 little girls that are looking at me, what's next? What do we do here? You made the decision to leave, so now what do we do? I couldn't stop. Stopping or giving up wasn't an option.
Nevertheless, she persisted. Thank you. And on my left, we have Miss Linda Faye. Miss Linda Faye, tell us a little bit about you and your story.
Well, I'm from Greenville, Mississippi, and my mom, we live in poverty. There's a lot of domestic violence in the home, a lot of poverty, a lot of alcohol abuse, and so there was also some sexual abuse in the home. And so, age 12, that's when I started running away from home, got involved in juvenile delinquent activities, and that persisted up until 5 years ago. And I went to prison like 3 times. I was on crack cocaine for like 26 plus years. Now I'm living with HIV. I've been HIV positive for 25 years. And so I finally went to a treatment center here in Dallas for 28 days, Nexus. And I asked God to help find, to tell me what I'm missing. And so I went there, I went back to school. I'm an alcohol and drug counselor now. I work I have my own place, don't have to have an apartment, but I pay my own bills. That's huge for me, I have a new car. I get my medications. My husband was in the military. I did get married, but he died. And so through the military, I'm able to afford my medications. I can go to the doctor I want to go to. So that's where I am right now.
Nevertheless, these two women are amazing, and we're going to have a conversation. And I want to ask you both, if there was one word that will come to mind, and when you think about the title of the program, nevertheless she persisted, what would that one word be?
My word would be, I guess my favorite word has been for the years, tenacity. You have to have that in order to make a decision to push through obstacles and push through struggles and failures and no's. So you have to have tenacity. You have to have motivation and dedication to reach whatever goal that you have. That's literally my motto for 2018.
2018 tenacity. I like to call it bounce back.
That's
Bounce back. Things happen, but we have a way of bouncing back and getting back on. All right, Miss Linda Faye, what is your one word that you would use?
Well, for me, my one word is perseverance. It's a steady persistence in a course of action, a purpose, a state, especially in spite of difficulties, obstacles, or discouragement. And I just say no, persevere, because I understand there's hope today, and that there's a God. He loved me too. He died for me too. Because he died for me too, he wants me to be prosperous. He wants me to be happy. He wants me to have peace in my life. And I have that today. But I have to remember to persevere through the challenges that still come my way.
Didn't I tell y'all there were two amazing women? We in the room with many amazing women, but I tell you what, as a personal coach, I learned something called the dip theory. And the dip theory is when you are in life, something happens, think about a V. You're in life, something happens, but you come back up. All right, so there's this dip. And in that dip, there's usually a lesson that comes in the dip. So when you come up, you're able to look back at the dip or the experience and grow from it. So ladies, let me ask you, as I'm listening to you all and I read your bio, you all had, just like everyone in this room, we've had a lot of dips, yes?
Yes.
But if you could tell me a dip, Monet, that when you came out of it, tell me your dip, then tell me what was a lesson you learned from your dip.
I have to go back to my biggest dip, literally going to the shelter. I was with this guy since I was 14 years old. I knew him since high school. So he was pretty much all I knew. I was comfortable with him. Family, friends, everybody pretty much said, you need to leave him, he's abusive, you don't want to do that. No, he's all I know. We're going to work it out, we're going to figure it out. Stay out of my business, basically. And then it took for me to look at my daughters. To say, what would you do if they were in this situation? And I realized that I was going to have to make a sacrifice because I was comfortable in our 3-bedroom home, dealing with whatever I had to do with to make him happy, just so that we could stay comfortable. And so I feel like God has to isolate you and get you uncomfortable in order to get you where He wants you to go. So I had to make a decision to say, okay, we have to go to a shelter, which is uncomfortable, which is not where they would want to be. But we have to go up from here. We can't do anything. We can't go any lower. So we're homeless. We don't have anywhere to stay. We don't have anything. I literally left with a few bags that we packed from Houston, and that was about it. And so just to make that decision alone was hard, but I think because I knew that I couldn't go any lower, that was what helped me to push through it.
And your lesson was that you had the 3 girls that were watching you, and you knew you couldn't give up because they were watching you?
Because my lesson is to teach them. Well, my job is to teach them. And so if I don't learn the lesson, if I don't amass whatever or master whatever lesson that I have to deal with, they're not going to deal with it. They're going to still deal with the same struggles that I have dealt with. If we don't master things as parents, if we don't accept things or deal with issues that we struggle with as adults, our children will deal with them.
And those are called generational curses.
Yes.
But we also know the flip side of generational curses is there are something called generational blessings.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you for not only, I'm not thanking you for the generational curses because that's something we all deal with, but just being so tenacious to show your girls that nevertheless, you can still persist. Miss Linda Faye, let's talk about your dip theory. What was your dip theory and what was the lesson you learned from it?
Well, my dip theory was, when I always remember, I used to read my Bible all the time. But I also used to read Snow White and Cinderella all the time too, because I liked the happily ever after part of the story.
Don't we all?
And you know, but I didn't have people around me to give me the love, the attention, and the validation that I needed as a child. And so it was elusive to me. I couldn't attain that happiness that I was looking for. So when I found drugs, I stayed in a state of euphoria. You know, I stayed up there, I was happy. But eventually that turned on me. The drugs turned on me. And I remember that I know God loved the world and all that stuff, you know, but I just didn't believe that I was worthy of that love. But after all those years of drug abuse and loneliness and all the things that came along with that, I have my father on earth. He left my mother when I was 1 year old. He never looked back to this day. So I wanted to believe and trust this Heavenly Father that I couldn't see.
Right now.
But I had this Father on earth that I couldn't see either, and he wasn't dead. He was still alive. So I had a struggle with accepting the love God had for me. But after all the times that I kept trying and I just told myself one day, I said, you know what? Just act as if you believe.
That was what you call fake it until you make it.
And what I noticed is that my life miraculously got better. And so, and now I have hope, you know, in that, you know, Christ died so I can have life. And it's eternal life. So that's the happily ever after that I'm waiting on.
Yes.
You know, hey, that's what I'm waiting on.
We're going to take a ball in a minute, y'all. We're going to have all the calls. We're going to say, okay, what's that line? Whatever you want. Yes, ma'am. So in that same vein, let's stay there for just a moment, because my next question to you is, what Bible story, song, or scripture really got you through? You talked about Cinderella, you talked about the happily ever after, but which one is that? And if you're trying to find it, let's go.
No, I had it right
You
here.
have it? Okay.
I have it already. The one that I go to all the time is 2 Corinthians 1, 3, and 4, which states, "Praise be to God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of tender mercies, and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our trials, so that we may be able to comfort others in any sort of trial with the comfort that we receive from God." So I always go to that because I know I'm going to get comforted, because I know I got to suffer. I got to suffer like everybody else in the world. There ain't no special rules for me. I thought it was at one time, but it isn't. You know, I'm just one of the few. I'm just one of the many. And so I understand that I'm going to, you know, just live life on life's terms.
It says comfort at all times. Not sometimes, but all times.
All times.
All times. Yes, Miss Monet, what about you? What story, song, or scripture got you through your roughest time? Okay.
So, one of my favorite scriptures is Jeremiah 29:11, and it says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future." That's one, and then the other one is, He's not going to put more on you than you can bear. Jacqueline Carr also has a song called "You Will Win." And so if you combine all three of those together, there is no obstacle that is against you that you're not going to be able to prosper or conquer, because God already said that He has your back. He has everything planned out. So every failure, everything that you've been through is already planned. It's already going to work for your good. So why would you not embrace that, not allow it to shape and mold you into whatever God has for you?
That's good. I think about the statement that says win after win after win after win. And then when you throw the scripture in there, that your ladder will be greater.
Yeah.
So can you imagine if I keep winning, I still hadn't gotten to the good part?
Right.
That's good. You think it's good? You give me not one good, but two good. Okay. Not one good, but two good. Okay. So here's my next question for you ladies. And again, I don't want to dwell on where you come from, because we are so excited about where you're going. One thing I do want to ask you is, what systems or strategies have you put in place to ensure your success?
Well, building Boldest Revolution. I have a nonprofit, 501c3, that goes to different shelters to talk to different women about, things that they've been through. We also are partnering with counselors to try to get them the help and services that they may need. Kind of doing little self-esteem awareness makeup classes. I'm not a makeup artist, but I do give tips on how to apply lipstick, how to apply makeup, just empowering women as a whole. That's my passion. That's what I have a full desire to do. So I've built my company so that, number one, my girls will have something to take from me when I leave this earth, but also to be able to give
Just talking
back.
about leaving a legacy now for children's children.
Yeah, that's why I built it, to leave the legacy for them. And I started the company in Safe Haven, Tarrant County, and so I feel like I don't have a choice but to give back to that. Why not? That's my only option.
Thank you. Ms. Linda, what systems or strategies have you put in place to ensure your success?
Well, first thing I did was I got a ministry, first of all, because that's the real life to me, is where I am with my vow. Where I am with God is my real purpose in my life. But then separately, I went back to school. I was going to school, working overnight on the graveyard shift from 11 to 7, leaving there, sleeping in my car for an hour, going to class, and got my LCBC. And I was working at the same job I'm at now. But they promoted me to a part-time job. And yesterday, they just offered me a salary position. So,
All right. Nevertheless, she persisted. All right.
so I just want to be a hope shot for another suffering addict or another one who lives with HIV. I want to be an example, the way I live my life, the things I say out of my mouth, how I carry myself in my community. I just want another lady to know and say, well, I can do it too. That's it. Because ain't nothing else for me. I did all the other stuff, so now I'm just trying to help somebody else.
And that's what I was about to say. Thank you. Yes, that deserves a round of applause. And as we wrap up our panel discussion, I want to say congratulations on an awesome life. I know sometimes when we go through things and someone will tell you, well, you're not going through it for you, you're going through it for somebody else. And my first thing would always be, well, let them go through. Right? But we understand that we have to go through life and we have to experience those things so that we can share our story, but not only sharing our story, but not being afraid to open our mouths and know that through us sharing our story, we can help liberate and empower others around us. So before we wrap up, I want us to leave with this last thing. This audience that is here with you today, if you had to share with them one thing that you wanted to impart on their hearts and minds as they leave this building today, what would that be?
That would be forgive yourself. Because that was one of the hardest things for me is to forgive myself. Because I have one daughter. She's 24. She has 2 grandsons and she's about to have another one. And she's not doing well. She hasn't forgiven me for not being a good mother to her. And she's struggling with a relationship with me. But I forgive myself. And I'm going to live my life. So when she get ready, I'm going to be ready.
I would say believe in yourself. Believe that you have the power to do whatever you put your mind to. Have the confidence and the boldness to do whatever it is that you put your mind to, whatever the desires is of your heart that God has put in your heart, whatever plans that you have, whatever dreams that you have. Believe that you are capable of doing it, because if you don't believe that you can do it, you'll never do it.
All right. With that being said, yes, with that being said, I want to leave you all with these parting words. I would say to Miss Linda, it is my prayer that when she comes home and when she's ready to reconcile, all will be well. And He's going to comfort you in the meantime. Miss Monet, I'm so proud of you. I don't know you, but I'm proud of you. To be in a place and do what you've done, you are amazing. And she does have product in the very back. She does have some of her makeup products in the very back. I was not going to. Okay, so please, ladies, all these beautiful ladies with all these beautiful shades on today, let's make sure we support this sister as she begins to start her new life. Thank you all for your time, and I hope you were blessed by this conversation. Now what I would like to do is move on to the next part of our program. And in doing so, I would like to introduce to you yet another amazing lady. Another amazing, impactful, and influential woman. Her name is Dr. Christine Guillory. She's an author, a renowned professor, aunt, owner of a consulting firm, contributor to the American Bible Society, founder of many initiatives, and a sought-after speaker and trainer. She uses her own life experiences to help bring out the best in others, using contagious enthusiasm, transparency, dance, and a touch of humor. Dr. Guillory has a life passion to challenge you to release what is holding you back so that you can discover all that is in store for you. Dr. Guillory has broken many barriers, from earning a PhD at 27 years old, at 27 years of age, to being the only African American and woman who graduated with a PhD from her department that year, to teaching her first graduate class at 24 years old to institutions creating positions just for her, and much more. After experiencing a tragedy in 2013, her life changed, and so did her goals. In 2014, she stepped away from an amazing professor position in faith, and the journey continues as she strives to be a catalyst for healing, hope, and purpose. Could you please give a round of applause as Dr. Christine Guillory makes her way to the stage.
My question for you is, if you had to give your life a title for what it is right now, what would it be? Think about that for a second. Made-up title, movie title, song title. I wonder if some of you might say, my title right now is I'm grateful. I wonder if some of you might say, my title would be Hidden Figures. I know I'm doing amazing work, but nobody sees me. I wonder if someone in here might say, my title is I'm so grateful I don't look like what I've been through. How many of you have ever had somebody say, oh my gosh, you seem to be doing so great, you don't ever have anything going on? You're like, excuse me. For me, my title for many years was uncomfortable while walking in obedience. Another title for me is I've been told no more times than I can count, but that never stopped me. By a show of hands, how many of you have ever had somebody tell you no? Okay, and if we had like 80 hands, we would all be raising those 80 hands, right? So I'm going to take you on a journey and share a little bit of my story, if that's okay. Is that okay? But before we get started, I'm going to give you 7 seconds. How many seconds? How many seconds? I'm going to give you 7 seconds to compliment 2 people around you, and go. Question, everybody say question. So what did I just see on everyone's face? A smile. About how much time did that take? 7 seconds? Y'all two took 1. They were ready. These 2, they're like, hey girl, you beautiful. How much money did that cost? So why don't we do that more often? Why don't we take 7 seconds to compliment somebody? Because I don't know about you, but there have been days where I have not wanted to get out of the bed. There have been days I've looked in the mirror and been like, oh, not today. And there have been days where I have not been in such a great place and somebody just said, good morning. I'm like, oh snap, good morning. Right? Take time to do that, because you never know what somebody right next to you is going through. There's somebody in this room who did not think they were going to be here today. There's someone in this room who never thought you would be doing what you were doing, but yet you persisted. I grew up in Dallas, Texas, or shall I say DeSoto. I was in the band. Anybody in the band in high school? Anybody in band? All right, anybody play the clarinet? What's up? Extra credit. Extra credit. We don't get it. Okay. What's up? And we're back. Greetings. So I'm the oldest in my family, and I went to TCU. I'm a proud TCU graduate.
All right.
And I graduated from TCU and started working on my master's degree. While I was working on the master's degree, and I started a step team at TCU. Anybody step in here? We'll battle later. We'll battle, okay? And all I wanted to do at my church was start a step team. Well, the pastor said, after about 45 minutes of him talking nonstop, I would like for you to be over a youth program. And so I'm like, wait, I just want to step. And so for the next 2 years, I was youth minister and had this youth program where we met about 27 weeks out of the year, and it was amazing. It was my life, and I love them, and I'm still in contact with 90% of them to this day. I finished that opportunity and started pursuing my PhD at the age of 24. How old was I? 24. I was 24, and the average age to start this degree is about 36. So I applied to 3 programs. 2 did not accept me. One program basically told me that they weren't accepting me because I was too young. That's discrimination. But they still, in so many words, were like, okay, awesome, but the average age of our students starts at 32. I'm like, that don't have anything to do with me, I'm 24. So then UTA, I go to meet with the dean, and she says, oh, Miss Guillory, good news, you've been admitted to our program. How do y'all think I felt? I was excited. Her next statement was, and we have scholarship opportunities. How do you think I felt? I was like, free money, hey, yeah. Her next statement was, or question was, how old are you? How old was I? 24. I was 24, I said 24. She said, are you married? I said, well, no, but do you know anybody? No. She said, oh, generally students like you don't finish this program. First of all, hater, what is like me? Okay? She said, yeah, you're not going to finish. I said, well, with all due respect, anything I put my mind to, I will get it done. And while it would be great to meet someone, that's not going to stop me. She says, see me in 3 years, toots. Can you tell me what the toots? You know what a toots is? I didn't either. I was confused. I don't know what that is. I said, what's the fastest somebody can get through this program? She said, well, we've only had 3 people complete this program in 3 years, and you won't be the 4th. I was like, oh. What did she see 3 years later? And what was I doing 3 years later? I was graduating. Now, do y'all think I walked across the stage? What did I do? Who said dance? Y'all don't even know me, but you do. I danced. And there was a song out back then by an artist some of you may not know, and it's okay. He's a very classic artist by the name of Young Jock. And he had a song called It's Going Down. Does anybody remember the movement to that song at all? Who did it? Come here. So, what's your name? Justina. Everybody say, hey, Justina. So, Justina, we're going to recreate my graduation. So, if you would step over there, I'm going to say, everybody, congratulations to Dr. Justina. And Justina, when you get up here, I just need you to hit that dance. Got it? Boom. In the center. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is Dr. Justina. She was ready to do it. Now, I didn't dance on stage just for the sake of dancing. Let me tell you why I danced on stage. The opportunity was presented to me. My grandmother got her master's degree in the 70s when women and black women weren't doing that. I have ancestors who were killed for being caught reading. So why would I not pursue this opportunity? And when I got on stage like Dr. Justina just did, I noticed that there were about 20 people standing all in front of me, getting ready to take my picture. I'm like, I don't know y'all, but let me pose. Hey. What I learned was that they said, we've never seen this. One of the other reasons I got this degree was not to be called Dr. Guillory, because it was about that. I can buy a fake degree. I got this degree so that the youngsters with whom I work can say, I know somebody who I can kind of relate to. And I don't mean relation in terms of race and gender, because I've had all different types of people say that, but I was made fun of in my program. You're too young. What are you doing here? You're not going to finish. The dean told my dad in my dissertation defense, I didn't think she was going to make it. You didn't think I was going to make it because you didn't see me struggling. But I did struggle.
Yes.
I did struggle. So I got that degree. I got some great opportunities. I was a professor. I taught my first college class at 24. Where I would walk in and my students like, hey, you're one of my classmates. No. Hello there. So things were going well. Opportunities, traveling the country. Then 2013 happened. I was that person prior to 2013, I wonder who can relate to me, who never asked for help. By a show of hands, anybody in here ever been there? But you would help everybody else. Okay. I helped everyone. I started helping people at 14 years old. But I would never ask for help. I would say 6 months ago I dealt with something, but I would never say I'm struggling now. 2013 changed all of that. I had no choice but to ask for help. I went through a breakup. I'd never gone through a breakup. Those are not fun. Even if they're good ones, they're still a break. A month later, our family went through a tragedy, and we lost somebody in my family. A really, really young person, one of my nephews. And my nephews are my life and my heart. When I learned of this, I physically collapsed to the ground. And at that point, my life forever changed. I had to ask for help. My students didn't think I was going to return to the university because they know how much I love my nephews. I tried to help, but I couldn't. I didn't have the energy to. I didn't know that I had permission to grieve. I didn't know that it was okay not to be okay. Y'all do know it's okay not to be okay. You are just as amazing and brilliant and fabulous when you're not okay compared to when you are. Y'all know that, right? Turn to somebody and say, it's okay not to be okay. Go. And then say it for yourself. On the count of 3, it's okay not to be okay. 1, 2, 3. It's okay not to be okay. Persisting sometimes means being still.
All right.
Persisting sometimes means I can't continue to pour out because I need to be poured in. And not poured in to pour back out, but poured in just for me. Persisting sometimes means saying, I am not strong right now, and that's okay. My students would say, Dr. G, you seem to be doing so well. You seem so strong. And I would say, y'all see me 3 hours once a week. Y'all didn't see me when I was in my car before class started in tears. You don't see me when I get home from work and I'm just on the couch because I have no more energy. And guess what, y'all? On my best day, my strength does not carry me. On my best day, my strength doesn't carry me. For me, it's the Lord. So all of us in here who have ever been told that we're strong, you're like, y'all, that's not me. That's not me. Everybody in here, take a deep breath with me right now. Everybody just breathe. And do it one more time. Just take a deep breath. Just breathe. Y'all, we don't breathe enough. We are raised, especially those of us who are women in here, and men as well, all of us, we're raised to push through and keep going and sweep pain under the rug. But that just gets us to a place where we're more broken. So breathe. Persist and breathe. You are enough right now. You are enough right now. No relationship status, no degree, no promotion, no job will define you because you are enough right now. I can't tell you how many people I've worked with. One hat I wear is I'm a therapist, and one thing that I've learned is all the folks I work with are like, I can't wait to get this because then I'll be validated. I had a student who would never look me in my eyes, and I said, why don't you look me in my eyes? Because when I look you in my eyes, you're going to see who I really am, and I'm nobody. I need you to look at me right now and let me see you. The beautiful you, the handsome you, the amazing you. I asked that same student, tell me what I deserve in a man. And she named all these amazing things. I'm like, correct. And I said, what do you deserve? And she said, I don't know. Why don't you deserve the same stuff? Well, Dr. G, I'm not you. I said, if you put aside my degrees and some other credentials, I'm a black woman who struggles from time to time, who looks in the mirror, has self-esteem issues, who sometimes try to help too many people and doesn't ask for help. Anybody relate to any of that? Yeah. Yet, I persisted. Yet, you persisted. Yet, you are enough. I've had people tell me no because I'm a woman. We can't have you do that because you're a woman. A lot of times people say, I want a seat at the table. If there's not a seat for me, I create my own table. So if y'all need help with creating your own table, holler. I got you. But the amazing women you're meeting today and who are going to be rewarded and awarded today have persisted and are outstanding. And gentlemen, you in here have been told not to show weakness. You've been told you can't ask questions and you can relate to us as well. Can't you, gentlemen?
Yes, ma'am.
And feeling lost at some points, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So ladies and gentlemen, we're not that different. We're not that different. We all need each other. Don't we need each other? So I'm going to give you all about 14 things. And I don't want you to write them all down. Here's your challenge. Everybody say challenge. Everybody say challenge. My challenge is when you hear something that kind of speaks to you, and actually if we're on the projector, we can go to the very last slide because I'm working the presentation. Oh yeah, no, come up. All right, keep going. Freeze, up, go back. Nephew, something like that. Wonderful. Okay, go ahead to the next one, thank you. So I can't leave any time where I have the privilege of being in front without offering additional encouragement. So this first one says, be grateful. Everybody say, be grateful. Be grateful. And yell it out. We're grateful for what? What are you grateful for? Life. What else? Health. Family. God. Opportunity. What did you say? Children. I thought she said Cheerios. I'm like, that's all people are grateful for, Cheerios. My brother wrote on I had a chalkboard wall in my house and people were writing for what they're grateful. That was my little rule. People were writing deep things. Friendship, family, my brother. Nachos and the Ravens. The next says replace I have to with I get to. Here's what that means. I have to go to work. I have to get gas. I get to go to work. I get to get gas. Because if I'm getting gas, that means what? I have money. Have a car. Have somewhere to go. That's what that means. So try replacing that. Oh, I have to pick up my kids. I get to pick up my kids because there are some people who don't get to pick up their kids. I have to clean my house. I get to clean my house because some of you in here were at a point where you didn't have a house. Like, ooh, dishes. Hey, my own sink, right? Oh my gosh, I have to get up. I get to get up because somebody didn't wake up today. All right. Number 3 says, take at least 60 seconds a day to breathe. Just breathe. I didn't say 6 minutes. I didn't say 5 minutes. I said just breathe, ladies and gentlemen. Get to your job or the school 5 minutes early. Sit in your car and just breathe. Breathing doesn't mean that the pain isn't there. It just means I'm taking a moment. Some of you in here have not breathed in years. Some of you in here are still holding your breath, not recognizing that you are enough right now, that it's okay not to be okay, and that you're amazing who you are, period. Like, period. Like, for real. Like, I'm not saying this because I'm in front of you, but I'm so serious. Like, y'all are amazing in who you are right now. Remember your why. Whether you're writing a book or you have a job or you're a parent, remember that why. Some of you are thinking about quitting a job. Remember why you started it before you quit. Compliment others. Y'all, you did that earlier. It was so giddy, so many smiles. Offer that to somebody. Compliment 3 people before y'all leave today. You already did 2, 3 more. The next says hydrate. That's real simple, right? But we forget to drink our water. You better hold up your bottle. Look at her. Example. Everybody check her out. Yes. Would you please stand? Would you please stand so we can see you partake? Yes, you better drink it. Yes. That is a commercial. Y'all, drink your water. Please drink your water. Be kind to yourself. I have been my worst critic in life. Weight was a stronghold for me for 20 years. Started at 10 for 20 years. I defined worth by weight. I defined so many things by weight. So physically, I've been 50 pounds heavier than I am now and 20 pounds lighter, and it didn't matter where I was. I wanted more, and I wasn't good enough. But I'm enough right now. I'm enough at this weight right now, okay? And so are you. But make sure to just be kind to yourself. We all make mistakes. I've made so many mistakes, and I've beat myself up. I've sat in my car for 3 hours after certain engagements thinking, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have said that, I should have done that. Not extending or receiving God's grace that He gives all the time. But I'm beating myself up. It's okay to take a break. On the count of 3, y'all say that. 1, 2, 3. It's okay to take a break. Turn to somebody and say, and point at them, it's okay to take a break. Go. And y'all, sometimes taking a break is watching 15 minutes of a TV show. Sometimes taking a break is going outside and walking around for 5 minutes. Take a break. Because in order to continue to persist, we need to take a break, right? In order to continue to persist, because y'all are doing it, we've got to pause and take a break. Please take a break. Relax. Look for small victories. For example, man, I didn't make it to the gym this week. Ooh, but I thought about it. Hey, victory. Well, I didn't make it to the gym, but my gym bag is in the back seat. Hey. Right? Oh, I want to go back to school, but I'm not there yet, but I'm thinking about it. Some of you in here are afraid to go back to school because you think you're too old. You're going to turn whatever age anyway. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be 55 by the time I get this degree, you're going to turn it anyway, God willing. I had a woman, one of my most, I call her my most seasoned, amazing student. She was 68 when she got her degree. She came up to me and said, Dr. Gilbert, I'm going to get this degree at 68. And what they're saying is we're living until about 80. So I figure I have 12 years left. Will you mentor me? As long as you mentor me too. Right? So go back to school if that's what you're thinking about and enjoying. The next is take time to reflect. There are some things you're living out right now that you prayed for years ago. Just take time to reflect and say, wow, Lord, took a little longer than I wanted, but it's here. Right? Or that you overcome and that you're amazing. Just take time to reflect. Remove some things from your shoulders. They're not big enough to carry everybody's stuff. I try to carry everybody's stuff. And we have, the Guillory's have me a broad, beautiful shoulders. My shoulders still aren't big enough for everybody's stuff. And when I tried to carry everybody's stuff, I wasn't good. And the final couple, ask for help. There's such strength in asking for help. Don't do life alone. Please don't do life alone. What that means is when you're struggling, do not suffer in silence. The enemy loves isolation. Don't suffer in silence. Say, I need help. If you don't know who to talk to, grab me at the end of this, and I authentically mean that. Dr. G, I need help. That's all you have to do. We'll take it from there. Deal? Yeah. Okay. Holla at me. You have other people, but if you don't, I'm here. And the final one says, have fun. It's so okay to have fun. If we have one, we will be dancing right now. I dance in everything I do. So we do a little merengue. Hey, we may do a little Cupid shuffle, right? But we dance. And so with that, you all are persisting anyway. Congratulations to those of you who will be rewarded today. To the amazing women who shared earlier, I honor you and I honor your story. I honor beautiful Yolanda who did such a great job moderating. And to the amazing planning committee who put this together and who partnered with organizations to do so, to a former student of mine, Siobhan. So this is a team effort. So ladies and gentlemen, it's been my esteemed privilege and honor to serve with you today. I do have a book that's out there, whatever, I'll talk about that later, but you persisted, you're amazing, it's okay not to be okay, and you are enough right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Women in Power. And at this time, we're going to segue into some women who really have persisted. These women, and these young women, I want you to turn around and look at these women when we finish. Because they have seen 10 decades, somehow, 10 decades of history. They have witnessed some things that you probably won't ever witness and don't want to witness. We can dim the lights just a little bit because we're going to bring their photos up. Our honorees on the very back row, simply because they have persisted enough to be here in their wheelchair, some of them. And some of them just can't take these stairs because we don't want them to have an accident. We want them to still keep persisting. And they gave me, I can't see what it looks like, where this clock is. Okay. And thank God we're on one accord today, because I heard one of the panelists mention God several times. And without God, we are nothing. She quoted scripture several times. Thank you, Yolanda, for even asking those kinds of questions. What gets you through? What scripture or song helped you? Well, for these ladies, in honor of the ladies that we're honoring today, who have persisted 80, 90, 100 plus years, they're here with us today. We're troubled on every side. But we're not, yet not distressed. We're perplexed, but not in despair.
Yes.
Persecuted, but not forsaken.
Yes.
Cast down, but not destroyed. And that's found in 2 Corinthians. We're going to pay tribute to some national figures as well as some local ones. So the ones that we chose was a lady who should have been recognized a long time ago. We all know who she is, Katherine Johnson. And thank God somebody had the strength, the ability, the willingness, and the money to produce a film to honor her. And now there's a doll, so they're going to be making money off of her. But I hope she gets some too. Katherine Johnson. Venus Williams and her sister, tennis champions, role models, activists. Venus, a clothing designer and an architect as well. Her sister, Serena Williams. A lot can be said about her. Sorry about that. Okay, Venus, your time. Not only is she a champion in many ways, she fought for equal pay, and she got it. But she's also a mother. Again, she's coming back, and a lot of people are wishing that she doesn't make it. But she will, because she will persist.
That's right.
All right. Now, another scripture dedicated to these women that we're honoring today. They've been young, so I have been young. Now they're old. Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread.
Amen.
They haven't been forsaken. The children haven't been forsaken. And they have grandkids and great-grandkids, some of these women. And so without further ado, I'm going to go through about 8 slides to recognize these women. Now, one is not with us today. There are 2 that's not with us. One is deceased, who passed away 2 weeks ago. But she knew. She knew all about this program. And she was willing to be here, but she's not. But we will still honor her. But Miss Marjorie Crenshaw is here. When we complete this program today, you're going to meet with them out in the gallery, because we're going to have refreshments out there. But I want these young women to get to know these older women who have persisted for 100 plus years. As a child, she studied piano and the pipe organ. Her parents were disciplinarians. They made sure she took her music lessons seriously. She has been called Fort Worth Jazz Legacy. Okay? It's so much to read up here. I'm not going to read it. But she started something in the Fort Worth ISD to make sure that jazz was appreciated. And it was called Imagination Celebration. And Miss Crenshaw is here today. When you meet her outside, she can tell you all about Imagination Celebration. Ms. Crenshaw, we love you, and we thank you for all the things that you've done and how well you have persisted. Thank you. Another one, Ms. Johnny Hughes. "95 years old. 95 years old. Another lady who's not with us today. But she is alive and she is well, but she's in the hospital, so pray for her. But she's 95 years young and she did persist. Again, too long to read. But St. Haven, somebody mentioned St. Haven on the panel. Here's the lady that was there. That's Johnny Hughes. We love you, we thank you. Miss Pearl Hunt is here today. Born in 1925. So how old do you think she is? That's when math comes in. I know we all went to school, and we thank our teachers at I.M. Terrell for instilling in us the ability to learn and remember things. She is a widely known community-oriented person. She is still active. She is on the advisory board of the Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society. And she will tell you which way is up. Okay? Her involvement has been with the Glen Crest Civic League, Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society, Minority Leaders and Citizens Council. So much stuff. She's here today. You're going to see her. We have plaques with them. We have a rose with them as well. And when you see these ladies out front, when you're just conversing and eating all this wonderful food, say hello to them. And young ladies, ask them, how did you do it? And they're going to tell you, it was by the grace of God. Is how they Miss Ortiz McKinney is here. Born in 1916. Out of Texas, okay? We didn't get much bio on her, but I don't need it. If she's lasted this long, but what she has witnessed and endured is the Jim Crow era, which some of you have not. You don't even know what it is. It was separate, but it was not equal at all. She witnessed segregation and integration, but most of all, she witnessed the inauguration of an African American president of the United States of America. She was here. She saw it happen. Maycora Peterson is here. Born in 1916. God bless you. This Maycora Peterson still volunteers at the Lenora Raleigh Heritage Center Museum. She came over one day. She said, I came to volunteer. I said, well, those stairs are kind of steep. I don't know if you can get up there. She said, I can take them one at a time. And she got up there. Another lady came, she was in her 80s, and she did the same thing. So I don't complain anymore when I go up those steep stairs. She went up the stairs, did some volunteer work, at least 3 hours, maybe 2, for a long time. But she finished her job. She persisted. Then she came back down those stairs. She said, I'll be back. And I say, thank you very much. But the YMCA got her here. Again, born in the Deep South. So you know what she witnessed. You know what she saw. You know what she went through. And then she came to Texas. It wasn't that much different because it was here as well. But get to know Miss Maycora Peterson. She's an icon in the city of Fort Worth. Then we have Miss S.A. Jackson Taylor. And I kept asking, what does S.A. mean? S.A., I need to know what her name is. Born in 1912. And what she told us was, when she was born, they weren't giving out whole names. They just gave out initials, and that's mine, S.A. So, and that's what it is. Miss S.A. Jackson Taylor, born in 1912. Again, not much bio was given to us. But there is her photo, and she's with us today. She's a member of St. Andrews.
All right, all right.
Who's also here today. But again, out of 106 years, she has witnessed and endured the Jim Crow era, segregation, integration, and the inauguration of President Barack Obama. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. This is a young lady that we lost. She's not with us today, and her services are pending. But Ms. Bertie Stanley, again, with some of the same things. She was 97 years old. Well, we got one more.
All right.
We didn't know she had persisted. But if she hadn't persisted, if she had not persisted, we wouldn't have the Boone House renovated.
Yeah, that's right.
And when she's at any meeting, she'll tell you how the cow eat the cat, y'all say it like that. But if something is misused, some history is incorrect, she'll be the first one to tell you, okay? But if you want to take a trip down Black History Road, it's with Miss Sarah Walker. So Sarah, we have a plaque for you, and we also have a rose for you. Thank you very much for persisting, keeping the Genealogical Society on track. Without you, Mrs. Rolla, it would just kind of died out, I suppose, but you have been trudging along for over 20 years that I know of. I only joined 10 years ago. You were there when I got there. So thank you, Sarah. We appreciate you. And if we would just all stand and turn around and look at these young women back here. Oh, one more. Okay, I got one more person. Hold on. I skipped the first one. We okay, this is the oldest woman in the She's got family here from Arizona, Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Miss Myrtle Lewis Keaton. Born in 1911. She's the oldest one of the group, and she's here. She's also here with her son, but this lady, she witnessed a lynching in her day, in her town where she grew up. Okay, that's the kind of stuff she went through. But she also, I'm glad Coach Hughes is here today. Her son is Wayne Spanky Lewis. He was on that championship team in Iron Terrell basketball. He was such a disciplinarian that if something went wrong with Wayne, if he missed practice, missed school, whatever, she made sure that he knew about it. But if he did that, she's the one that said, your playing days are over. You're not going back to playing ball anymore. And she told Coach Hughes the same thing. And he said, oh, I got to have him on the team, and just leave it up to me. I'll take care of him. He's my responsibility. One other thing this lady did, she would wake up at 5:30 in the morning, leaving Butler Housing. D. Jennings, you can relate to that. Your mom is still there. She's still there. She would catch a bus. It was called the city bus at that time. She would catch a bus at 5:30 in the morning going to work. She's persisting. Wouldn't come back until 12:30, but her sons would be with her to make sure she got on the bus, and at 12:30, they were there to make sure she got back home. She persisted. Now, the Greyhound bus station had a little cafeteria. This is a story that was told me by the son. I thought was so endearing. A lot of times we couldn't eat at that counter. Okay? Very true. Well, the sons never knew that they couldn't afford anything because of their mother always provided. They wanted hamburgers that day. Okay? She said, well, I don't get paid till Saturday. I can't do it right now. Can't do it today. But she found a way to do it. She could afford the hamburgers for both of them. They weren't used to having hamburgers with lettuce, potatoes, nickels, okay? But at the Greyhound bus station, that's how they served it. But guess what she did? Because she wanted to eat with her sons. She wanted them to have a hamburger. Got that hamburger, she made it, cut it in half, with lettuce and tomatoes and pickles. She made a salad for herself. Now, she provided, she persisted. This is the kind of woman, and all these women back here, these are the kind of women that have made this world a better place. This is the kind of woman that made sure her son did not go astray. Now, her husband preceded her. She kept on working anyway. She remarried at age 80. I don't think I could do that. But she did. But this is the kicker. She went to her son and asked him for permission to marry again. And he said yes. So, thank you men that are here today. Thank you sons for loving your mother. Thank you women for persisting. So I'd like to ask at this time again that you stand up and give these women who are 100 years old, 96, 97, a round of applause. You may be seated. At this time, I'm going to ask Nicole Henry to come up. And I'm sure that all of our honorees got their plaques, correct? All right. We're going to ask Nicole Henry to come out and make our presentation, and then we'll come back to close and go out and eat something.
Yes.
That was amazing.
Amazing.
I'm Corinne Diagami, treasurer of Women Empower Empowering, and it is my honor to help present Women Empower Empowering's 2018 Financial Awards. A little bit more about us. We are a philanthropic group for African American women. Our mission is to create opportunities for women of all colors and backgrounds to overcome obstacles by providing financial awards, mentoring, and support. We do that through members who have committed to investing in empowering women. And there's information about membership on that back registration table. Today is our pleasure to present 4 awards. When I call your name, if you'll come forward, so Nicole. The first award recipient is Brianna Balcom. And last but certainly not least, Janelle Heron.
Thank you. Women in Power, empowering other women. I'd like to thank our board members who are here today who helped make this program a success. I'd like to thank Yolanda Harper, Dr. Guillory, and the panelists. Our organization is 41 years old this year. If you're not a member, you should be. We have a website. We'd like for you to go up and just look at it. You can join online. You can pay through PayPal, $25 for an individual, $50 for a family membership. But students of all ages, $10 in annual fee. Please become a member. Please come over and visit the Lenore Rolla Heritage Center Museum. And you'll see some history you probably haven't seen in a long time. And it's located at 1020 East Humboldt Street in Fort Worth, 76104. And we're open on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 3 p.m.
My name is Gertrude Murphy. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. My mother and father were the best of friends. She knew me before I was born. Tell me your name.
What? My name is Arnice McKinney. McKinney?
Tell him how old you are.
Oh, you can just talk, Andy. Tell them how old you are.
Just talk into it.
I'm 101.
You'll be 102 when?
May the 3rd, 1916.
You'll be 102.
No, I'm already
102.
one.
Tell him what church you're a member of. Tell him what church you're a member of.
I'm Arnice McKinney. You got me?
I got you loud and clear.
I'm from Fort Worth, Texas.
Yes, ma'am.
Andrew,
Methodist Church.
St. Andrew's United Methodist Church.
Yes, ma'am. Keep going.
And I lived in Fort Worth for several years.
Yes. What high school did you go to?
Huh?
What high school?
I went to school in Bonham, Texas.
What type of work did you do?
I did what did I do?
Private work.
Private
home.
private home work.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell him you have one son.
I have one son,
Tell him his name.
and
His name.
his name is Anthony. His name is Anthony Wallace.
I said, does she have anything she want to tell the young people in today?
Do you have anything you want to say to all these young people here today? About life?
No,
You don't?
I don't know him well enough. Do what your teachers can tell you to do, and be a good student
And a good Christian.
and a good Christian.
Thank you. That's very important.
And join St. Andrew's United Methodist Church.
Amen. Yes.
Amen.
Now,
Tell him this is your nephew over here.
this is my nephew
Pass it to him. To your nephew right there.
right here.
You got two nephews right there.
Yeah,
Give it to
two.
them.
I have two boys.
Yes.
Two of my boys,
Yes.
and I don't have any other one here.
Give them the microphone so they can talk. Your nephew.
My name is Jerry Smith. I am the great nephew of Miss Ernest McKinney.
And what are some of your wonderful fond memories?
What?
When I was growing up, we used to go visit my auntie, and one of the memories I have of her is that I'd never liked to eat my vegetables. And she made me sit at the table and wouldn't let me get up until everything was finished on my plate. I sat there for like 4 hours, bawling and crying, and she told me that I'll give you something to cry about if you don't finish them vegetables. I thought I had it, but nope. I had to finish those vegetables before I could get up. And that's one of the fondest memories I have because now I eat every vegetable on my plate.
Let him say here. She's gonna come.
My name is Gary Cooper. I am also the great nephew of Arnice McKinney. And my fondest memory was in the summer times when we used to come down from Wichita Falls and we used to stay over at Aunt Bernice's house and just play. And we would come down just to go to Six Flags, but every time we came down, we stayed at Aunt Bernice's house when she stayed over on Finley Street. You remember that?
That's right.
Yeah. And we loved that house. So, and
Come on in now.
great.
There we go.
I am Asante and I am her great niece.
Tell him your name.
When to go? I'm all ready. All right. Hello. I want to introduce to you a wonderful woman of worth, and on this National Women's History Month, as we are celebrating here at the Fort Worth Center Library this month. And I have with me Mrs.
Pearl Hunt,
And Pearl, how old are you?
93 years old.
Praise the Lord. I happen to be her son and her pastor, and I'm very proud of her. She has many offices in the church. Could you tell us about what you're doing right now at 93?
Well, I still remain active in my church, and I serve as a treasurer and organizer of the young adult group, and I am involved with my sorority and Eta Phi Beta sorority, Eta chapter, and the Lenora Rolla Museum, and a number of other organizations.
I want to say that this young lady is very has been very prolific in the community. She has retired in these 93 years about, 3 or 4 times? Could you tell us about some of your work experiences?
Well, my main work experiences began with working with Fort Worth ISD. I retired from there after 29 years of service. And then I went to work for the Sickle Cell Disease Association, retired from there.
Forget about the transit?
No, I served for 6 years on the T Transportation Board. I served 6 years on the Talent Appraisal Board. And I also served on the Women's Commission for City of Fort Worth. Just to name a few things.
All right, and how long have you been a member of Eta Phi Beta?
I've been a member of Eta Phi Beta sorority for 50 plus years. And in 1917, I received my 50-year award.
All right. So how many boulets have you been in 50 years?
I can't count them. Too many to remember.
I think it's 24 boulets. They're every 2 years. 2 years, and
I might have missed a couple of them.
All right. Okay. Well, we.
I also like to say I served as director.
All right. All right.
The MASS program, a program that helps formerly incarcerated men and women.
And ex-offender reentry program at which was held at your church. All right, tell us about your children.
I was fortunate enough to have 5 children. Their names are Louis, Johnny, Janet, Jackie, and Candace Hunt. And I was married to my husband, Johnny Lee Hunt, Sr., for 63 years before he passed away.
All right. How many grandchildren do you have?
I have 8 grandchildren, and they are Gregory L.W. Ford, Damian Harris, Sharonda Ford, Kasha Hunt, Gina Hunt, and Tracy Ford. I'm missing one.
Well, I know you have more than 8 because I got 8 by myself. So, okay, that's grandchildren, right? We didn't get into the great grandchildren or the great great grandchildren. I was just, all right. Okay, very good.
We're going to wrap it up. Okay. I would like for her to leave, talk about some lessons she want to share.
All right.
Doesn't have to be lessons, just something to the older couple, some nuggets to the older couple, the married and the kids.
Okay.
One at a time.
All right. Okay, would you like to share?
I would like to say that all during my life I have tried to be of service to others. I have attended many meetings and gathered information to bring back and share with different groups. And my passion is helping others.
Helping the community. All right. So, what would you like to share with your, first of all, with your grandchildren, then your great grandchildren, and then your great great grandchildren?
I would like to share with them to follow your dream, be a success in whatever you do, and never doubt yourself, and mistakes that you have made, forgive yourself and continue your life to live it the best you can, and in the meantime being a loving and caring person and always willing to help and share with others.
That sounds very wonderful.
Okay, this afternoon we're at the National Women's History Month, and we want to interview one of the honorees, and her name is Mrs. Myrtle B. Lewis Keaton. And Mrs. Lewis, how old are you?
How old am I? I'm the age you don't like today. 105.
107. Okay, it's 107.
She said 5. So.
Yeah, it's 107.
But it's 7.
Yeah, it's 107. So you want to let us know what is one of the main things that help you live as long as you lived? What would you owe that to?
Huh?
What do you owe that to?
I don't know.
Yeah, you had an idea. I remember you saying once before that
That what? What did I say?
one of the things that made you have longevity in your life was that you honored your mother and your father.
Uh-huh.
Is that what? Say it again.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Honor my mother and father.
Okay, that's great. That's great. This is a good one right here. I remember they did an interview on you when you were 100 years old, and Bob Ray Sanders interviewed you from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, and he asked you what was one of the greatest things that you can remember to happen to you, or that you've seen. And you remember what you said? Think about it a little bit.
No.
You don't quite remember what you said?
No.
Okay, one of the things that you said was, one of the things that you remember is that you were able to see the first president and the first black president, Barack Obama. You remember saying that? You think? Well, we understand you're 107, so, you know, it comes off a little bit slow sometimes, but that's okay. Did you enjoy yourself today?
Yes, I did. I sure did.
Had a great time?
Yep. Had a great time.
You ready to come back next year?
If I'm around, I will.
Okay. You say if you're around, you will.
Uh-huh.
You'll make it a point to be back.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 108.
Now, who were all these different people that came to give you your honor, that was honoring you? Who are some of these different people? Just some of them. Not all of them. Just name a few. Look at them and try to remember. Who is this guy sitting next to you? Right here. Who is this guy right here? He came.
Right here.
Oh, you talking about Michael? That's Mike. Yeah, that's your stepson. Yeah, that's like your stepson. Who is this right here? Next to you. Right there. The guy right here. The comedian.
I'm good looking though.
I don't know him.
You don't know him? That's your grandson, the only grandson you got. That's Trevor.
Oh, is that Trevor?
Yeah, that's
me.
Trevor. You sure is.
Live in
Good.
Texaco.
Okay, good. You done?
Hello, my name is Perry Crenshaw, and I am here with Marjorie Crenshaw, who is my mother. My mother, 90 years young. We're here today at the National Honoring Women during this month. It is National Women's History Month, and we are with the Genealogical Society, Black Genealogical Society of Tarrant County, celebrating a great time of honoring women here at the library here, Fort Worth Central Library. And my mother was one of the honorees today. So, Mom, say hi to the audience today.
Oh, how are you? I hope you are doing okay, because I am very well today. And I've enjoyed this program immensely, and it's been very, very informative, very historical, and of course I knew and worked with Miss Roller, the lady who has the Black Genealogical Society named after her.
Great. Can you tell us, let's say Marjorie Crenshaw was one of the honorees, Johnny Hughes was one of the honorees, Pearl Hunt was one of the honorees, Myrtle Lewis Keaton was another one, Arnice McKinney, May Cora Peterson, S.A. Jackson Taylor, and Bernice Stanley. Bernice Stanley was also an honoree here today. So let me interview you first. Mom, how long have you been the height of 4'11"?
Since I don't know how long I've been 4'11". That's not a part of the interview. That's not knowledgeable. Nobody said tell the folk my height.
Okay. How long have you been living in Fort Worth, Texas?
Since 1929.
Tell us a little bit about your family of origin.
My family of origin came from Marshall, Texas, and they lived near Wiley College. My dad went to high school in Pemberton High School in Marshall, and then he moved to Fort Worth after he got on the railroad in 1929. And that's when we moved to Fort Worth in 1929. And I've been there ever since. My father and his people all went to school in Marshall. Being United Methodist, well, they all had a connection with Ebenezer Methodist Church in Marshall. They lived between Bishop, which was on Baptist Hill, as they called it, 709 Mill Street in Marshall.
That's when Bishop was in Marshall, right?
Bishop was in Marshall, and it was on where near Highway 80. It was 80 then. Now it's a connection of 30. But anyway, that's where Bishop was on what they called it the east side, and Wiley was on the other side. One being United Methodist, the other one being Baptist. So they were different. Same denominations almost, but same kind of people, but they just had a different section.
So when you came to Fort Worth, tell us a little bit about your teenage, young adult years and profession.
Oh, let me tell you something interesting. You know where the new library is on Evans Avenue? That was our Lady of Mercy Catholic school, where I went to school from the first grade through the 8th. We had to go to James E. Gwynn because of segregation. We could not attend our Mother of Mercy at church or at school at all until later years. And then most people think the Catholic School was always called our Mother of Mercy. It was not. It was Our Lady of Mercy. Father Denis was the priest, and that house where he lived is still on Evans Avenue, next door to the Catholic Church that he built. Now it's I think the Presbyterians have bought it. But that Central Library was where I did elementary school work from 1 through 8. Then you would go to James E. Gwynn, which is now, I think, a business facility where they meet for various city groups now. But when I went there until I got to the 9th grade, and then we went to I.M. Terrell High School.
Okay, it's somewhat interesting because at that location, also there is a memorial or a momentum honoring your father right at the same point where you went to school.
Exactly. Over there, it's sort of like in a semicircle, and they have the various people who were involved in different, different areas of work and different areas of businesses and professionals. Yes, and they are listed by the groups, by the way. Right there on the corner, next to the building, not right in front of the building, but next to the building on Evans.
Yeah, and his name was Perry Hollins, and that's where I got my first name from, Perry Crenshaw, so named after my grandfather, Perry Hollins. When you, what high school did you go to, and college, and talk about your start of your teaching profession?
Okay, let me go back a little bit and tell you about Perry Hollins first. He was the president of the local union of black trainmen. There was a division of the union called the black trainmen, and he was one of those, and he was the last black brakeman hired until the beginning of the 50s or 60s. Then they became one. All right, I went to I.M. Terrell High School, and I graduated from there in 1943. After that, I went to Fisk University 2 years. I went to Wiley College 2 years, and I finished from Wiley in 1948. That, of course, Wiley is in Marshall, Texas, Harrison County. So, and then I did other work for the pursuit of education, such as graduate hours, and then I got my master's from University of North Texas. And of course I taught in Fort Worth for 32 years. Wow. Elementary music, social studies, we called it geography. And at that time, I worked in Atlanta, Texas. I forgot to tell you that first.
I thought you missed something there.
Atlanta, Texas, 2 years. And that was from 1948 till 1950. And then my father suggested that I move back to Fort Worth so I'd be at home. So that's why I got away from Atlanta.
Yeah, we won't talk about the Studebaker that he made you take back after you bought.
The Chrysler. I went and got a Chrysler. I don't know what the sport model, and that he asked me how did I expect to pay for that. And of course he said, now I have more money than you do, but I couldn't afford it. And I can make the payments, so you take it right on back down to the Chrysler Company on 7th Street. And I did. I took it right on back and returned it. Because he said, you can't pay for that. You don't make enough. In fact, teachers were so poorly paid. He said I couldn't be a teacher because they don't get enough money. So that's why he chose the railroad. Tuskegee for 2 years and would have finished, but he got sick. And he had to pay his own tuition. So, you can't work sick and go to school in Alabama, because he was in Tuskegee, Alabama. He wasn't close to home. So therefore, that's why he didn't finish college.
Tell us a little bit about your family real quick.
My family what?
Family, children, grandchildren, your favorite son?
I have 2 children. Lisa Jeanette Crenshaw, my daughter, she passed away. Okay, and then I have 1 son who is a minister
The favorite.
at TCOM in Grand Prairie. Of course, now he's also been a minister in the United Methodist Church at in Dallas and Duncanville also. And he now is, I guess you would call him an independent because it's not a particular area, yes. All right. And he finished SMU, Theological School. Okay. He also went to Deer Prairie View for 2 years.
Which is better than Wiley.
Of course, I knew you would say that, but I was trying to avoid the issue. Because Wiley and Prairie View will never. That's right. Entirely. Okay.
Well, let's get, if there are any kind of words of wisdom you could leave with us as far as life, as far as the work that you do, or just as far as making an impact on society, share those.
What I have to say is very short, and but it's very, very important. Whatever you want to do in life, no matter how long it takes you, be sure you finish it. Keep going. Don't give up. Don't quit. Don't let anybody get you upset and you say, well, I'm not going to do it anymore. Finish. Complete the job.
Thank you very much.